Hey y'all, Kelly Whitney here with another thing older Black women should tell younger Black women, but don't. You don't have to validate tough moves with family members. A couple of days ago, I did a video suggesting that you may have to surrender the fantasy of the perfect mother-daughter relationship. I went into detail about how if you want to fix a broken relationship, both parties have to be willing to acknowledge their role in the brokenness and then do the work it takes to heal and move forward. If they don't want to do that, I believe you can move on. I don't really subscribe to the idea that because someone is family or has a label that means that they can abuse you forever with impunity. I think that's ho shit. And one of you in the comments said something about validation. And I thought, validation? What? I looked it up. You know me, I'm always looking at definition. Validation means the action of checking or proving the validity or accuracy of something, the action of making or declaring something legally or officially acceptable, and recognition or affirmation that a person or their feelings or opinions are valid or worthwhile. Now that third definition is really what I think taps into that comment. I should have written it down exactly, but I didn't. You don't have to prove that your feelings or your desires to act a certain way toward problematic family members are valid or acceptable. If you feel a certain type of way, that's it. Your feelings are valid. Your desire for peace, that's valid. Your desire to stop being mistreated, that's valid. You don't need validation of that. That's a trap that society or those problematic family members have put into your head, making you think that somehow you have to prove that you are entitled to have certain feelings, that somebody has to approve the fact that you want to take what some might consider a controversial step in the relationship between you and that problematic family member. But you don't. You don't. You're grown. That shit just didn't fall out of the sky. No, that problematic family member has been staticky for a long time, haven't they? They've been doing whole shit months, years, maybe even decades. When I talked to you a couple of days ago, how I had to erect boundaries and block and this and that didn't happen after months. That happened after me taking abuse for decades. I banged my head against the wall for decades. I pled my case. I begged. I offered countless scenarios. I tried to reason with these people. I did. I made an effort. Absolutely I did. But I did all that in vain. And at some point, something clicked in my mind and I said, enough. I'm done with this. This is taking too much time and energy and joy from me. And it was the best move I've ever made. And that's what I want for you. I want you to be joyful. I want you to be easy. I want the people who have access to you, who you spend the majority of your time with, I want them to truly love and care for you. Is it easy to cut off family members? No. Is it easy to erect and maintain firm boundaries with family members? No. Is it worth it? Fuck yes. Absolutely it is. You deserve to have peace. You deserve to be well treated. That's not a negotiable. That's not something you have to validate. That is what it is. You weren't put on this earth for people to mistreat you with impunity. You weren't put on this earth for people to abuse your kindness, to gaslight you, to take advantage of your time, to take your money, to do whatever whole shit it is that these family members are doing that makes you want to get away from them. Those feelings are valid. You don't have to explain that to anybody. And see, I think older Black women don't explain this because they haven't come to this realization. They haven't gotten to this place where they're like, I've had enough. You want static? You're gonna have to get it from somebody else. Run across the carpet, put your finger on, do it. Leave me out of it. We haven't gotten to that stage in many cases. And then there's another contingent of us who say, well, that's your family, as though that gives them the right to mistreat you. And it doesn't. Having a label doesn't mean that someone can treat you any old kind of way. A mother, an aunt, a father, an uncle, a brother, a sister, whomever. Those words mean something. And if the person who has that title does not live up to what that relationship should be about, you're perfectly within your rights to curtail that relationship, to limit their access to you, to erect boundaries, or to even decide that you're done and that's it. Am I saying this is easy? No, absolutely not. it can be heartbreaking. If it wasn't so heartbreaking and difficult, it would be easier to do. It wouldn't take so long. You wouldn't shoulder so much abuse before you finally make these tough decisions to cut these people off. And you don't have to do what I say. Think for yourself. Evaluate the relationship. Evaluate what it's taking away from you and make your own decision. It may not mean cutting the person off entirely. It may just mean limiting access. That's up to you to decide based on what you need, what you've endured, what the situation is, and what you ultimately want from the relationship, if anything. That's up to you to decide. But I know I want Black women to live well. I wrote my blog for this week at treatmebetta.com about being unbothered. So if you have not subscribed to my blog yet, please, I produce some new content every week. I went through the whole list of what being unbothered means and what its value is in your life. And when you are surrounded by problematic family members, you can't be unbothered. You're going to be triggered time and time again. You're going to be aggravated. You're going to be mistreated. You're going to be gaslit. And you don't have to live like that. You don't have to live like that. See, it's the world who thinks that Black women should shoulder infinite amounts of pain and aggravation, cruelty, and all this other hoe shit. I don't believe that. And I hope that you guys come to the realization that you don't have to do that either. Because that's not true. That's not why you're here. The good Lord didn't put you here to be abused. But sometimes you got to make these tough calls. So it's up to you, but you don't need validation. You definitely don't need that. Absolutely not. And that's that. That's all I got for today. I hope y'all come back for the next video.